the Only Leeds Bros show.
Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Only Leeds Bros for the match reaction. Leeds United 2-0 winners at Ellen Road, and we go back to the top of the championship table by 2 points, exactly where we belong. Jan, we'll come to you first, buddy. Summarise that one first, because I love your summaries.
Joe. Oh, boys. Can't beat the feeling. Beat you to it, Dillo. Sorry, mate. I have to jump in there for you.
I done that on purpose because I knew that was coming, Jan. I was giving you the limelight there, buddy.
Thanks, mate. Nice little one there. But, boys, do you know what? After Sunday, I was really deflated, and I think most of us were after the Sunday. Thankfully, I didn't watch it, but I couldn't stop myself from looking at my phone every 2 minutes just to see what the score was. And my fiance was like, what are you doing? Look at your phone. I was like, Leeds playing. Like, oh, really? I was like, yeah. So checking that. But anyway, that's another story. But moving on tonight, I think that's exactly, I thought we started quite badly, actually. I thought Millwall, first few minutes, I thought, oh, here we go. It's going to be one of them. They come right at us. They put the pressure on straight away. And I thought Alex Neil actually got his tactics for the first few minutes right. But I think as soon as we scored the goal, I think it was just total control for me. I'll be completely honest. Like the first half, we were not our best. But to be honest, Millwall didn't look like they were any danger to us in the first or the second half. I thought Rothwell really dictated play tonight as well. I thought everything went for him. And Tanaka was back at his best. I thought he took the mix sometimes with some of the things he was doing. And he was like he's playing on the park with his friends. And second half then, I think just we stepped up a little bit then. I think we kind of had a bit of a hangover from the Portsmouth game in the first half. But the second half then, I felt like we really did take the ball by the horns, so to speak, and then Farkas must have got into him at half time, give him a bit of rocket at the, and then from then, the lads, I'll be honest, it was just total control. They had one shot on target in the game, Millwall. I can't remember if they did.
The only kind of chance that I remember was a little bit hairy was, I don't even know what the guy's name was, but he was a Darwin Núñez knockoff that put the cross in the box and Millie kind of slapped it behind. That's the only kind of hairy moment where I was a little kind of like, other than that, I had checked the stats back after this. I don't remember the impressions. And like what you said, Jam, after the first kind of couple of minutes, it's kind of like we had to get Portsmouth out of our system and we kind of got into our rhythm. I think it probably suited us that we got the early goal, didn't it, really, to kind of calm us down, because that was the fear if the game was going on. The longer it went on 0-0, there was a chance there, of the pressure being on the players. But they dealt with it brilliantly well. And it was a really, really good bounce back, wasn't it, after the weekend? Because I think that was a real kicking. But the players stood up tonight, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I just touching back on basically the first goal. I'm actually found how many we actually have a goal that we have luck on our side for a change, because there's always goals that go in for Sheffield United or Burnley, I find, like that over that. I watched the Burnley game yesterday and their keeper fumbled it and they equalised to go 1-1. I thought, why can't Leeds have something like that? Then the next day, then we have a goal like that, which is perfect. And just touching on, I know we just sort of asked a different question, Dazza, but I thought the ref was absolutely garbage tonight.
Oh, we're getting on to him. Don't worry, Jan. We are getting on to him 100%. Before we do, lads, please don't forget to get your player ratings in. Something that we are doing now on Only Leeds Bros. As soon as we go off to this, doesn't stop for me and Dylan. We'll be working into the night, doing a bit of overtime. We're going to be recording player ratings and we will have that out for you tomorrow morning. So get your player ratings in with the link below. It's in the description as well across all our social media. So get your player ratings in. They're looking good at the moment. And then as soon as the stream is over, then we'll evaluate them all. Get all your total. Dylan won't know them. Dylan will go in blind. We'll get Dylan scores and then the average OLB's viewer scores. So yeah, get your player ratings in for that one. Dylan, we'll come across to you, buddy. Sum up that one for us, pal.
Yeah, I have to kind of invent exactly what Jam was saying there. I think the first 10-15 minutes of match, we grew into the game an awful lot. I think the front front four, Aronson, Pirro, James and Solomon were on it from the get-go. And then like Solomon puts that on the back of the net straight away, no messing about. Kind of gives us that lease of life, you could say. Kind of taking on then from there, it kind of dropped at times. Still controlled the game very well, but it's just that final pass or final strike, you could say. But even the boys at the back, they really pulled one out. And maybe it was, Darren, what you said going back yesterday or the day before. Maybe Leeds needed that lose against Portsmouth to give, the boys some sort of water confidence. But we grew into the game an awful lot. Obviously then, come the 70th minute, I was waiting for the 70th minute course, and there was no movement at all on the bench, and I wanted to shake up. I was getting nervous, completely nervous. I just thought, Leeds were playing with so much freedom. Rodon was going on his mad runs every now and again, which is not a bad thing either, but the back of my head saying all it's going to take is a missed time to pass or slipping, and Millwall are up the other end, put it in the back of the net. And but then, our man Tanaka, what a goal. I think we can all agree that was a phenomenal goal, phenomenal strike. And but yeah, not really pleased. I think Joe Rothwell was the engine in there today. Really controlled the midfield well. Tanaka, he's just cool as a cucumber with a strike, was defensive play. And Solomon as well, lads. I think Solomon played unbelievable defensively as well. Just overall a great day at the office, considering, Portsmouth, everyone I think put in a shift there today.
Yeah, I think so, Dylan, and like that, it takes character, doesn't it, to bounce back. And it's something that we mentioned on our match build-up, Jam, was this is what this team probably needs, is that the performances probably from Sunderland on to Portsmouth haven't been great. You can't keep getting away with that in this league. And it was probably just the kick that these Leeds players need, that, look at, you can't rest on your laurels. You can't really drop below anything but 90% in this league to get a result. And it's like that tonight. They went back out. And like you said, first couple of minutes, we seemed probably a little bit hesitant. We get the early goal and we kind of grow into the game and we get our confidence from there. We pick up the 3 points. And that's what it is. It's mentality monsters, isn't it, Jam, to come back and go again, especially after the defeat, to come back and win your next game. It's about bouncing back in this division, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you can have, I think we said before, you can have all the talent in the world, but if the desire and the willingness is not there, then you might as well give up, because you need more than that to win a league or to get promoted. I mean, I think I take heart, as you boys do. I take heart from tonight that we've actually, we've bossed the game. Really, we haven't really got a second gear. I don't think, but I don't think we felt like we needed to, and I think we just grinded it out. And Millwall, they came and they battled and they did what they usually do, Millwall, but I felt like we faced up to it, and we really did. Honestly, the second half, it was literally just like, right, can we just score now? Because this is sort of playing on my mind and playing on my nerves. I thought, here we go, it's going to be a scabby goal from a set piece. That big lump at the back for them, was it Jake Cooper? His name was?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was going to get one, or he's going to get one of them. But I mean,
because we did leave him unmarked, didn't we, Jam, from one of them from the
yeah.
corners, and then that kind of puts it in, as Leeds fans, it's putting it in the back of your head that how is probably the tallest man and the best header on the pitch getting a free header like that, and luckily enough it went wide.
I think Dan James was even marking it at one point. I thought
he was, yeah.
I don't know if that was a tactical decision by Fargo, but anyway, mentality monsters. Absolutely, that's what you need. That you need that mentality to win any league or get promotion, and yeah, we seem to have that at the moment. And again, one blip on Sunday. Anyway, we bounce back and we go again. If we'd have drew tonight or lost, then I'd been concerned. But it was convincing tonight, I thought, without sort of the glitz and glamour of all this all this quick football and all that kind of thing. I felt like we just controlled the game, and Rothwell, I think, was the sort of key to it all tonight.
What's very irritating though for me, I was just thinking we obviously owed it to ourselves, and just in general, we owed it to ourselves to beat Millwall, considering the FA Cup and the first out and away from home. That's a completely different team than what I saw there today. Completely different, and to lose to them away from home the first out, it was like Leeds weren't great at all. Millwall just came out with a game plan and frustrated us. And to be fair, I probably see some sort of similarities to Millwall and the Portsmouth game to a certain degree. But you have to be happy with that today. Like to bounce back after the Portsmouth game, just keep that mentality and the confidence going, taking over. And Darren's what I've kind of been saying to you. Can't be worrying about Sheffield United, Burnley or Sunderland. Just focus on our own and do our own work.
Yeah, exactly, Dylan. That's it. And it was imperative. I think, lads, we probably all would have taken as Leeds fans tonight, even if it wasn't the most scintillating performance. What you touched on, Jam, it was get the job done tonight, wasn't it? It's I think now it's getting to the stage of the season. It's needs must, isn't it? Like get them over the line, take them off the board. It's another game down. The pressure kind of swings back to Sheffield United and Burnley, who did slip up last night. Here we will get into it a little bit further about they're running towards the end of the season, and Leeds United's running towards the end of the season. But we'll bring it back a little bit, lads, right to the very start. The team lineup: Ilya Gruev drops out. Both of you touched on Joe Rothwell. Jan, we'll come to you first. Is it got to the stage now where Joe Rothwell just has to be starting games of football for Leeds?
Absolutely. I think he's one of the most underrated players in this division, if I'm being completely honest. Today he was everywhere tonight. He was literally breaking up play. He was carrying the ball forward. He was looking to break the line with a killer pass. I mean, what a signing! He's a loan signing, but what a signing! He has really sort of come into his own this season. I just don't see how you can drop him now. I mean, what more does he have to do? I understand the whole Gruev thing for the away games. I do get that, but then you kind of got to look at it now and think, he's done more than enough over the last few games to exactly what Richard says there. He has to start for me. I just think he's vital. It's just that experience he has as well. He's been there and done it before, lads. He's been up with Southampton, Bournemouth. Now you're just going to add that. He's never experienced head in it. Again, you might not see him shout and do all these things on the pitch, but he leads in other ways. He carries the ball. He looks to have the ball. Him and Tanaka. Honestly, lads, when I was playing, if you'd have feeded me that ball at the back, I'd have put that in Rose's head. I wouldn't be one of them players that took it. But the level of composure they both show is unbelievable. I mean, yeah. You know me, boys. I like to ramble. I like to go off.
No, I love it. No, I love it.
But
that's I agree with you, Jam. I think it's got to the stage now with Joe Rothwell where we always just look so much better with him on the park, don't we, with Tanaka, and Tanaka looks a lot better with him alongside him as well. And I don't know what the kind of general kind of Leeds fans thought him, but anytime we see Tanaka and Gruev play together, I actually think Tanaka drops down a level. I don't think they complement each other very well. They're very kind of defensive, very kind of similar players, which doesn't really work. And I think it's kind of that similar kind of vibe to Ampadu and Gruev, what we got last season, where it just didn't really work. And I think that's probably the one partnership this season that I haven't been happy with and I don't really like. But I think Joe Rothwell, lads, his overall performance tonight, his tempo, his turn on the ball, driving Leeds up the pitch. You could see he was trying to pick them little passes in behind, a couple of them were wayward, but he looked to try and get us going. And that's probably something Ilya Gruev hasn't really done this season for Leeds United. Dylan, for you, has it got to the stage now where Joe Rothwell has to be in the team?
I think it's mad if he wasn't. I think maybe people are putting it in the back of their head because he is a lone player. And then I have to agree with what you said there, Darren. The Gruev and Tanaka situation doesn't work either. And to be fair, if you look at Rothwell, and it's something me and you've always been saying, Darren, that tempo, that kind of move the ball quicker. Anytime Rothwell is on the pitch, he's the one that's kind of controlling the game for Leeds United. Now that sounds a bit, like I'm not throwing, you could say bogle or fearful. What I am saying though, when it is getting knocked around at the back, he's the first person to go looking for it, to control it. As Jam said, to try and put that pass across the line, to take that risk. I think Gruev just doesn't like to take the risk, and we're saying, utilising for away games, and I was all for that. But the last time against Portsmouth, that's the worst performance I've seen from Gruev in a Leeds United shirt, and I hope I never see it. I don't think it can get any worse. I thought he was absolutely muck. Just being completely honest with you, straight off the bat, I was disgraceful. So, our predicted lineups from the get-go, we both agreed for Rothwell to come back in. Now, with that being said, my little rant over. Yeah, Rothwell should start for the rest of the season. Obviously, depending on injuries and suspensions and just fitness in general. But we still need to utilise our bench because it's something we didn't do last season. I'm going to keep that going. I'm a firm believer in it. I think every single player, even out to Sam Chambers, had to sign a new contract with Leeds. Fair play to him. Everyone needs to be utilised. Everyone.
Yeah, Dylan, I agree with you there. Let's get on to the referee then, Jam. You did mention him right at the very start. I think there's only probably one place to start, lads, was the offside goal. And I think whatever about taking a goal away from Leeds United. Of course, as Leeds fans, we're going to say, should have been onside. I do genuinely think, trying to take the Leeds hat off, that it was onside. A couple of replays that I've seen back, I will look into it a little bit more. Again, after we finish doing this, but I just think, generally, lads, that goal, the play, the build-up play, the lovely little intricate pass around the corner, the Aronson flick, the finish from Pirro as well, it just feels like a bit of a kick, doesn't it? Because it was a brilliant goal that we scored, and it was a brilliant goal that's been taken off us, Jam, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was just a little intricate play that you like to see as a fan, isn't it? And I think, I'll be honest, I thought Pirro's footwork was sublime. It was just
sensational, wasn't it?
Hanging in the Louvre, as they say, or whether hanging up in there. But literally, that was brilliant. The ref, I was saying to my brother, did he have his cards with him today, or did he just forget them and left them at home? If it's his birthday soon, could someone get him some cards? Because honestly, boys, I was literally every little Millwall were playing up to it again. I've repeated this before in other games, but these championship teams, they know exactly what to do. The refs are they're not strong enough in this league. They just know if they can get away with these silly little fouls or whatever, they'll do exactly that. And the one bit where, is it Honeyman went down for Millwall? How long did that take for him to come up?
So, look, I was going to touch on that. There's a few things I want to touch on with the referee, but yeah, look what you mentioned there, the Honeyman, he gets injured, and that's fine, and he's allowed to come on, and he's allowed to be assessed, which is obviously protocol, that's fine. But then Millwall not having a player ready to come on when it should have probably been signalled from their physio, he's not ready to continue on, they're assessing him, and then at the last minute then they're taking him off, and there's no one ready. So that's kind of on Millwall's behalf. The referee there should really be speeding him up. And if he's taking the mick, then you're taking out your yellow card there. So, yeah, even just little things like that, I don't think he kind of had control of the game. But the one that probably does me a little bit more, Jan, was Joe Bryan in the first half on Dan James, where he blatantly pulls him down. Dan James is away, and he doesn't even get shown a yellow card, it's ridiculous, really, isn't it? Because you're pulling someone down, it's cynical. It's a yellow card.
Yeah, because if he does, he's away, isn't he? If he, that's the whole point. Surely he must get booked. He just pulls him down. He doesn't even, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know whether the ref was smoking or something before the game. I just don't know. I just don't know. It's just, I feel like I say the same all the time when I come on with you boys, but the refs are absolutely garbage at this level, and they are. Yeah. I'm not going to change my mind on that.
Was there not one as well similar to, there was a penalty claim? You could say that Darwin Núñez from Wish, Darren, as you would say, he kind of pushed.
There was a bit of it, like he just straight through Dan James again. They didn't.
But his hands were on DJ's body. That's the point I was trying to make. Now, initially, I thought it was.
It was around the edge of the box. It could have been inside, could have been outside. It was bar.
No, but when it happened for me, I was going to say that's a free kick. But when you said penalty, I was going to say, well, hold on a second. No, I didn't know it was in the box. It's 100% a penalty. Just seeing the initial, I was like, he's not giving this. But hearing that it was in the box, should have been a penalty there and then. I just thought, I don't know what it is with these referees. They're just all simple, aren't they? Like, let's be honest, like, they're not all there. Like, they can't bring out these, as Jam says, the cards when they need to, or look, me and Darren can both agree on this. I love a game when there's tackles going in, but there's a fine line that you need to cross when it comes to, like that with Honeyman going off the pitch. Just show some sort of little bit of character and show the fans and the teams that you're in control. Because he wasn't in control for that. 100% wasn't in control for that.
Yeah, he was way off. South Stand 83, KG's post-match wasn't complimentary. Ori, Rothwell, I agree with you boys. It's our best midfield pairing. Yeah, I suppose some people obviously have their own opinion. Yeah, I don't know how you can't be complimentary of Joe Rothwell tonight. I thought he was fantastic, and I think the general kind of consensus in the chat and these two boys and myself, and probably across social media, little bits that I had a look on, it's been nothing but complimentary for Joe Rothwell. I suppose everyone is they're entitled to their own opinion, aren't they? Even happy with the 3 points. Bit of a boring game, particularly first half. Can't believe he didn't bring subs on earlier. Not looking forward to QPR because I think he'll play the same team. I think he will probably say the same team, Scooby. Yeah, I think you're probably a little bit like Dylan Scooby. I think it was Dylan was shouting out for subs as well. I was probably the other side, so I probably have to disagree with you. I thought we were doing okay, and I thought maybe a change at 1-0 might have disrupted us because I thought we were defending well. We looked like we were going to get a second. Jam, what did you think around that? There's a lot of people kind of calling around the 60, 70 men to change it up, and I was a little bit like, I'm kind of happy where we're at the minute.
I completely get sort of both sides, but for me personally, I would have liked to have seen DJ come off just because he
Really, yeah.
looked exhausted for me.
You just want them fresh for Wales, don't you?
No, you can say out for Wales. Leeds comes first, boys. Honestly,
love that.
But DJ, my brother messaged me and during the game he said, "Oh, DJ looks knackered. We need to bring him off." I agree. I thought he don't get me wrong. He always puts in 100%, but I just felt like he could have refreshed Nonto or Ramazani in there just to freshen up, and probably Ramazani more than anything, just because he works hard tracking back as well. But I do want to
see more from him.
Well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to see more from when he comes on. I mean, to be honest, I'm sort of sensing that they're getting a little bit frustrated now, Nonto and Ramazani.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. I can see that you can see on the bench whenever the camera pans to them, they just look miserable.
Yeah,
and you would be if you're not playing. But I don't know how much opportunity you're going to get now to prove themselves. This is what you touched on earlier, Dillo. We need to be utilising the squad. We need to. We've got to put quality on the bench.
That's it, and it's mad though, Jam, isn't it? Because you have two brilliant players, and we know the potential Nonto has. We've seen it from him. Ramazani, we've seen it from him at the start of the season as well, and obviously Dylan's been kind of banging that drum that, like, shake it up. We need to use our squad a little bit. But I probably think tonight I do have to side with Fark a little bit, and I know this probably mightn't be too popular out there, but I just think the way the game state was going, I just think it was probably a bit of a risk, more of a risk to change it up than what it was, to keep it the way it was. And then you could kind of see them when it started approaching that, 84th minute, you could see that he was bringing on Gruev and Byram, then to probably shore it up and then to go for the 1-0 draw, and then Tanaka scores, and then it kind of changes subs. You see Nonto was coming on then as well. So, yeah, look, I think probably we have to look on the bright side, don't we? At the end of the day, he's got it right. He's 1-2-0. Paul for Leeds says, played well with possession. Bit poor in the finishing, but to get 2-0 result with that referee is a great achievement, and I agree with you as well. It feels like everyone on their nannies are against Leeds United at the minute, so yeah, great achievement to win 2-0 tonight. Fark didn't shake it up enough soon enough tonight. Dilla, what are you thinking?
Go away, lads, leave me alone. You're all on the wind up, is there? No, he got it right. He got it right. He definitely, with Rothwell going back in there, I think just calls it there and then, doesn't he? I think he's the main part for this team. He's the engine in the midfield. Just phenomenal, pure phenomenal. I just think it's all in the head now. And then, like as Jam said there, going back, I do feel sorry to a certain degree for Ramazani and Nonto. Like if you had to tell me at the start of the season that these boys, that Solomon, Basie and James would be ahead, I would have been kind of like, nah, that's not happening. But credit you as well, though, to Solomon and James. They've been phenomenal, But
yeah, to keep them two boys out of the team, lad, it's a big achievement because they're great players.
But see, the thing is as well, Darren, I think it's in, there tonight now is a 2-0 win, and you had Solomon phenomenal, James phenomenal, Aronson I thought was brilliant, and Pirro. So to a certain degree, away from home against Portsmouth, you think that fire and desire would be when the boys come on, and they just haven't been shown that. So to be fair, you can't really slate Fark for not putting these boys on. But I know what I'm saying in the back of my head. I'm going to say you need to utilise them a little bit more, but they haven't been showing it. They haven't been doing anything when they've come on. Little cameos here and there, but nothing major.
I think it's hard though, Dylan, and we obviously spoke about when Millwall did knock us out of the FA Cup and the both of them got their opportunity in that game, that it wasn't more so about winning that game for them. It had to be to kind of show a little bit, to try and force the hand into this team with Daniel Farke, and he didn't really that day. And then we spoke about it, Jan, with you after the game as well. He kind of said that that's probably really their opportunity gone for the season to make a big impact in 90 minutes. Obviously, Byron is what Dylan said, substitutions or, suspensions or red cards or wherever it may be. So they are going to get limited time now on the pitch to basically showcase their skills, aren't they? You're only going to really get your 10, 15 minutes, and by the time you kind of get into the game, it's essentially probably too late. But there's no denying, lads, no denying at all that I believe that somewhere along these next 9 games that Ramazani and Nonto will have some bearing on some game. They've too much quality not to, so they will probably be brought on in games where it's not going for us, and you'll see your Ramazanis and you'll see your Nontos popping up goals. So they're still essential for me. It's a squad game. We still need them there, Jam, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can hit the nail on the head there. I think if even Saturday, if things are not going our way,
Jim.
I'm worried about Saturday. I don't know why.
Me too.
I really am.
Me too. Me too. Yeah.
This is the one I've been banging on for months and months.
I honestly think Boys' last season's 4-0 loss. I think that's what's in the back of my head, thinking we need to go down there and we need to put a performance in, because I mean, it's all right winning tonight, but we need to follow up now, don't we? We need to keep on grinding these results
Yeah,
out and
need to
keep
go
winning.
again.
We need to keep going. And God, Dad, I forgot what we were talking about now, lads.
Just not on Ramazani with QPR not coming up, and that they will have some bearing on our season going forward.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, I mean, even if it's not going our way Saturday, they've got the quality to come on and make an impact, and that's exactly what we need. Not just for Saturday, obviously, but the games after. If we feel that they can, well, they've definitely got the quality. They've shown it in the past. I think, yeah. Look, injuries going to happen. Perhaps players are not going to. They might get little niggles in training, or they may not be fresh enough. These boys then need to actually come in and impact the game, and even if it is for like 10, 15 minutes, as you boys said, they need to really, contribute in some way, whether that's just putting in a big tackle or I don't know, just putting a ball in behind and running onto it and then crossing it in and assisting for someone, or just little nice intricate play. They need to do something. They need to impact the game because, like I said, Dan, DJ, and Solomon have just been. I think they've been undroppable.
Yeah, they are. They're undroppable, exactly. Yeah, that's the word for it. Let's have a look, lads. So obviously 9 games to go, which we're into single figures now with games left. It's coming thick and fast, lads. The finish line is in sight. We'll just go through Leeds remaining 9, and as I call them out, don't elaborate on it, but just say win or draw, and we'll move on, right? So Dylan, QPR.
I'm never gonna back Leeds to lose.
Win, draw or lose. One more.
Win.
Jam.
Draw.
Swansea.
Win.
Luton away.
Win.
Draw.
Borough away.
Draw.
Well, lads. Preston at home.
Win.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Oxford away.
Win.
Love it. Stoke at home.
Win.
Draw.
Bristol, last home game of the season.
Win.
And then Plymouth, last day of the season.
Win.
I think we'll lose that one. I don't know. I've got a funny feeling. I think
we'll already be up then. We'll already be up.
I think we'll be hungover.
Yeah, love it. We'll already be up. Let's look forward then a little bit to QPR, lads. Not a little bit too much, because both of us kind of said that you're worried about QPR. Is it just a track record going out to London, QPR on the tour notoriously, or is there something about this Leeds team and Daniel Farke and the way that we're playing that you think QPR might exploit us a little bit?
For me, I think it's more to do with last season and just going down there and literally, sorry about that. Literally, I just think it was just that was embarrassing last season. And I really felt like that was sort of season defining for us, that we weren't going to get top 2 when they turned us over 4-0. And I just think we kind of went hiding a little bit. I just feel like it was a bit of a hostile environment to be in for some of the players. I mean, we had a few younger lads as well, so I suppose my positive I'm trying to spin on it is the squad we have now is completely different to what we had last year. I think the bench we had some terrible. We had Gelhardt, Creswell. Who else was on the bench? There was not many options at all.
Shackleton and all them. Yeah,
Shackleton, and no offense to them, but it's just not. It wasn't to the level that we have this year. So probably just more. It's probably not much logic to it other than last season's.
Could easily be.
Could be. But we owe them one for last season, and we've done them already this season, and we've beaten them already. But I really think we need to go there and put a statement down, and that I think that really could be a sort of result that could ignite the confidence if we go down there and get a good result.
That's massive, isn't it? If we go down there and we're kind of feeling it as Leeds fans, like QPR is massive. We know what they done to us last season. Notoriously, they always do us over down there. What a confidence builder that would be if Leeds go down there, and probably even if the performance isn't great again, to pick up 3 points going into the international break. Then 8 games left to go. It really kind of sets a marker down then, doesn't it, for the last 8 games? And we'll touch on it a little bit. Obviously, Sheffield United and Burnley, they still both have to play each other. They both have Coventry as well. There's some tough fixtures left there for and I know we have to do our job first, but really then the last couple of games towards the end of the season, the fixtures favour Leeds a little bit, don't they, Dill?
Yeah, they do, but I think, back to what I was saying, when it comes to the other teams that are in the league, I'm not really worried about them. But it does come down to, you're right in what you're saying, we need to do our job in order to not worry about their job, if that makes sense. But, you know, at the end of the day, I just think we can get through this next few, say 2 or 3 games with some sort of points on the board. I think we'd be all right. Yeah, as you said, you can see the finish line. I think it'd be a bit more, as I said, the confidence, kind of momentum going into them. But then, yeah, you look at the other teams. You know, we do have the easiest run, but also in the back of my head, Darren, because I'm a Leeds fan. You know, that could cost us because it's just typical. You know, that would be the heartbreak for Leeds. You know.
I'm with Davy Dids though here, lads. And again, this might sound wild, but I'm like this. I think if we get through QPR, like we could see us going on a 6 or 7 game or not being unbeaten for the rest of the season, lads. I really could. I know Borough away probably is the toughest one, but when you look at Oxford, Stoke at home, Preston, yeah, to name a few, Bristol at home, Plymouth away, I feel like they're fixtures that we should be winning. Like, I know it's this league, it's the championship, isn't it, lads? But I agree with Davy Dids here. I think if we get through Saturday, I'd be very confident.
This is the thing. Well, the thing is, boys, you've got to think of it as in a way as well. If we don't get the points, then that we think we should, then we don't deserve to get promoted. Because, and no offense to these teams, but we're top of the league and we should be going there and we should be getting maximum points, really. But I do want to touch on as well. I think Matt might have touched on it there. But on Saturday we play obviously before everyone else. We play before Burnley, don't we? Saturday, and then Sheffield United play Sheffield Wednesday, Sunday. So in an ideal world, it'd be lovely if we went down and got the 3 points against QPR. All the pressure's on Burnley and all the pressure's on Sheffield United. That would be the ideal scenario out of it all. Because I think Sheffield Wednesday would get something on Sunday, personally.
It's a massive game like that Sheffield derby, like that's so hard to call notoriously over the years as well. It's never really, it's a toss-up, isn't it, who wins them, and it's a massive fixture up there as well. But like we just said, Jam, these do have bearings, and some people think that they don't, but it does get into your psyche, doesn't it? If you know before the game that your rivals are after winning or your rivals are after losing, it kind of gives you that little bit, or it puts that little bit of pressure on you, knowing that you really need to go out there and get a result, doesn't it? So I know exactly where you're coming from. Dilla, we'll come across you after you were a little bit after Portsmouth. You kind of got the jitters. We were leaving the Camden. You were a little bit kind of like, I don't know if we're going to do it. It was the first kind of real doubt that it kind of fell from you this season. We've won tonight. Has that brought your confidence back up? Has that kind of relieved the anxiety of you and probably the general Leeds fan?
No. Straight out of that. No chance. Definitely not. You know, as I said, it's a typical Leeds thing. You know, like the way I look at it is, lads, I think we've been through enough heartbreak and heartache over the last year, 20 years. When you look at it, 16 years it took to get us out of this godforsaken league and into the Premier League. And typical, there was a global pandemic. You know, that's another Leeds thing to happen. It's always going to be there. I just feel like we always get a bad luck with it toward the end.
So you feel like there's going to be another COVID before the end of the season?
Yeah, you can say that.
He's so negative, Jam.
No, I'm only mess. No, I genuinely think we're going to do it. And to be honest, I want to see it. Like, obviously, I want to be there, but it's mostly to see Ellen Road packed out. You know, and the place just erupting. I think that's really what I'm looking forward to be quite honest with you. But now the nerves are going to be there. Like, for anyone in the chat, we're used to.
I know, Stevie. I keep telling them the negativity needs to be positive. It's like me and Jam are trying to constantly. Dylan gives that positive vibes, like.
Right, lads, I'm going to tell you this. Right? There's no way that everyone in watching this, right? The 35 people that are watching this, right? And you two that I'm talking to. There's no way in the back of your head you're going to be in a little somewhat nervous. There's no way that you're just going, yeah, we're going to do it.
I'm confident.
I'm confident too.
Nerves of steel, Dylan. Nerves of steel.
Hand on heart, man. Genuinely, I'm not even messing. I'm confident we do it, and I'm confident we win the league. I really am.
I'm confident we'll do that as well, but it's still that little niggle that's going to be in the back of your head.
We've no niggles. No niggles at all. Richard says, Avenue being back for the run-in. Again, Richard, it's 50-50. Be interesting to see again in the press conference. Going to feel like every press conference with Daniel Farke will know a little bit more. They've obviously gone the conservative route, no surgery, in the hope that we get him back for the season. But he has constantly said it's a 50-50 if we do have him back for the run-in. Probably the way I look at it, Jam, and just before we wrap it up, I want to get your thoughts on this with the Ampadu one. If we do get him back, because it kind of seems to be the thing, we need to get Ampadu back. Is he really going to be that much of an effect, essentially trying to get back up to speed of this team after being out for quite a bit as well? It's a lot to ask, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't see him playing again this season, to be honest.
Me too, buddy. Me too, yeah.
I think he's just I think he kind of knows that Farke knows he ain't going to come back for the rest of the season. I think he's trying to keep us all the fans on side, really, and to keep it all positive, but I think he knows. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think we will see him. But then if Rothwell keeps playing the way he is, then that's fine. That's fine by me. Him and Tanaka can continue to cook, as the young boys say.
love that. Sam says here, win Saturday and put the pressure back on the other teams, and that's exactly, buddy. That's what we have to do. We need to pass the baton. Jake, your bro, says very positive, Jam. How knows that? I can't get excited at the moment. We need to make more subs, as players are looking tired now, and that's probably it. And I think, lads, if we can get over the line of QPR, go down there, get 3 points, and then like that go into the international break, and a couple of them then can kind of get a rest. That's what I'm looking forward to a little bit. Ampadu makes a magical recovery after the international break. You never know. We'll see what happens. You never know, buddy. Yeah, to be fair, you never know. To be fair, I do not get bombarded by this. Do not get bombarded by this and that with the news of all the dribbles. So negative is minimal. Yeah, there's no need to be negative. I was always positive. You always were, Sean, in fairness. Dylan, we'll come across to you. Any final thoughts before we wrap up the match reaction?
Oh, thanks to everyone that tuned in to the watch along, and then Jam as well to come again on this journey with us. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to Leeds United. And sleep like a happy baby tonight.
You won't be texting me after this and going, I don't think we're going to do it.
Lads, look at me here. This is what Leeds United does.
You're losing every week. Leeds are playing. You're losing strand by strand.
Strands.
Jan, we'll come across you again. Thanks very much for giving up your time. But any final words from you, buddy?
No, just a pleasure as always. Thanks for having me on, lads. How many followers are you on now? You're nearly at 2K? Or?
Nearly at 2K. We're 1,910 followers. So we're 90 away from the 2K mark. So yeah, if you can hit that like button and that subscribe button, lads, we'll try and get there before the end of the season. That would be really, really great. It only started back in August last year.
I'll sort of my last bit there, lads, is these two boys worked really hard to provide content with us. They went to the Camden the other day and provided the sort of live vlog experience for us. I just think another 90 followers. Let's get them, share wherever you can on social media. Let's get these boys up to 2K like they deserve. So that's your little, and they continue to have me on here. I don't know why. I don't know what they're thinking, but I'll come on.
They love hearing from you. Love having you on the show.
So yeah,
I love your positivity, Jam. That's what I want. I need someone positive so I can counteract Dylan. Dylan does suck the negativity into me. So that's it. Thanks very much, Jam, for your kind words. And again, lads, please, if you can, smash a like and subscribe. Really, really appreciate that. Again, guys, right at the very top of the chat here is your player ratings link. So go in there. Let us know your player ratings. Myself and Dylan will be popping off, and then we'll be jumping on and doing a player ratings video now in the next 10-15 minutes. So yeah, working into the night to provide the content that we can for you guys as much as we possibly can. So make sure you do that for us. Thanks very much for popping in. For everyone on the watch along, everyone in the match reaction. We'll chat you all again soon during the week. It's a quick turnaround. So we'll be back for our player ratings tomorrow, and then we're back then for the match build up and watch along and so on. We will be here. Thanks very much, Dillo. Thanks very much, Jam. Thanks very much to everyone in the chat. And we chat you all again soon. Mind yourselves and mind each other.